క్లాస్ 5 to 7 క్లాస్. ఇంకా అదే అప్పట్లో తినలేదా మధ్యలో ఆగి 22nd. ఇస్తాను. డాడీ దగ్గర వచ్చి బిల్లు వద్దు. బిల్లుకి తగ్గిందంటున్నాను. పొద్దున విడికాడు. సరే ముందు.
ถ้าเป็นคนที่ทำแบบ
Hello. Hello. Am I audible? Hello. Uh,
Yes, Pratyay, you are audible.
okay. Great. So I'll share my screen and yeah, can wait. I guess my screen is also visible. So I'll wait for a while, or I can start.
பிஸ்கெட் எங்க அங்க இருக்கே
Uh, okay, I guess we can start, or shall we wait for some time?
அம்மா போறியா
Good
Pratyay,
evening,
is
sir.
Dimple joining?
Yes, hello.
Shall we wait for Indumati ma'am to join, sir?
Sure. I just pinged her. She will probably join in another minute.
Okay, right.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. Pratya, I guess we can start.
Okay.
There are like 28 people. Maybe I'll like briefly introduce you and Roshan, then you can start the
Sure.
session.
Sure.
Okay. Hi everyone. So I'm Indumati, and my colleagues will be handling the class for this introduction to data science classes. So today, Mr. Pratyay Senkupta will handle the class. So it'll be on like introduction to Python. And tomorrow or like day after tomorrow, Roshan will start you with the linear algebra and the basics of machine learning. So Pratyay Senkupta and Roshan is like a PMRF student and doing their PhD in the Department of Biotechnology in Iitm Madras. If you have any questions, you can just like stop them in the middle and ask them. It's fine. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So Pratyay will start the session now, and you can ask the doubts in Tamil also. Whatever you are comfortable with, you can ask your doubts in either in English or in Tamil also. And if you don't understand anything also, you can just like ask us. Okay. You can start, Pratyay.
Uh, okay, thank you for the introduction, Indu. So, hello all. Welcome to you on the first class of hands-on session to this short course on data science. And as he mentioned, I am a PhD student. I'm Pruthay. I'm a PhD student at IIT Madras in the Department of Biotechnology. But we work a lot of on data science aspects. So, I guess so. Today we will start with introduction to Python. I guess my screen is visible. And what we will be covering today is basic installation, programming language, and why we are choosing Python, and what all compiler and interface are. Some general coding guidelines, and then before we move forward with the main codes, we will have a short 10-15 minutes diagnostic test to know about your background and how proficient you are in Python, just for the sole purpose of this to know how we can better design the course, and then main stuffs like basic of Pythons like variables, loops, functions, and some packages. Right. So I hope my screen is visible and I'm audible. So let's start. Welcome you again in the course. So I am expecting all of you have Python in some sense or used it. If not, you can install the Python using these setups. So we have this Windows and Linux. No, fine. So you can download using these steps. We will be mostly using Google Colab. That's a notebook that you can use. And so in Windows you can install Anaconda. That will come with a lot of handy like Spider or Jupyter notebook. And in Ubuntu it's very simple, just single line thing, right? But you can also install Anaconda there. So not much I will be thrust giving on there. So coming to basics of programming languages. So computers are great following very explicit instructions, and programming language are our interface to talk to CPUs. So they don't understand usually English or Tamil or Hindi, anything else. So in different way, different programming languages helps us. There are a lot of programming language. I guess you can tell a lot more. There is C, C++, Python, Java, many programming language, Fortran, Perl. And then some of these C, Fortran are low level language. And and then we have Python and MATLAB, that is called high level languages. Any one of you have like idea of what is low level language, what is high level language? You can like unmute and say like no problem. Any idea on this low level language, high level languages? Okay, so I will describe. So low level language where we need to explicitly give all the commands to interact with, like C, C++, where you while you define a variable, you have to even define what class it is, like it's integer or something. Whereas a high level language, it's more human readable, like Python, where you don't have to explicitly give those stuffs. It can directly assume and do the things. So if you are giving a equals to 5, it will assume that integer a is an integer, right? And this is some statistics from last year where people are using Python is one of the most, I guess now Java is the highest used language, but Python in last decade, if you have seen, people started using a lot of Python, and it's used for a lot of scientific computing as well. And then Python, why Python among all of these languages, like not even even in higher languages, uh, Python is very important because it's a high level programming language, and it has a emphasis on code readability. So it will be very easy to read Python codes rather than if you see any C code or C++ codes. And this also, this Python provides a constructor and like clear programs on both small and large scales, and heavily used, as I mentioned, in scientific computing, and very large number of useful packages they have. We will be using a lot of packages in coming days. All packages we will be seeing today, some of the packages we will see. So it comes with a lot of package, so you don't have to write all those things, you just have to call that package and do the stuff. So that's easy is Python. And if you start using Python, you will feel it. Now, why we need coding is one part, but there is still even a computer cannot understand English, Hindi, or Tamil. Even it doesn't understand Python, right? So there is a compiler or a translator which can convert our codes into readable format. So any code written in any language need to be translated to the machine for the readability, right? Python, however, is more human friendly. As I mentioned, it has the comments. It's easily human readable, and render codes more readable for human. That's if anyone else written the code, it will be easy for you to understand. And it's an interpreted language like MATLAB, but unlike C, C++, and other low-level languages. Now you can write a Python code, and then there are different interfaces, there are different places where you can write the Python code. So you will be seeing different people writing different like codes in different places. Like some people use Spider, some people use Colab, we will be using Google Colab. Some people use some other tool like Jupyter Notebook. So in all of those things, we can split it into two major categories, is what that called interfaces, where we write the Python codes. Two major groups like Notebook and IDE, or integrated development environment. So what are they? All have some advantages, some disadvantages. So let's talk about advantages. So notebooks are usually files where we support computer codes and text element, images, all those things, which is used for small kind of environment, like you want to do some sorry, minimal analysis. You can use those things, and it will be very user friendly. And on the other hand, IDEs are for software building. You like long codes. If you have long codes, you usually prefer people usually prefer to use IDEs. That comes with a code editor, code debugger, and all those things. So we have Google, we will be using Google Colab, also the Jupyter Notebook. These are the formats of notebooks where we save files as IPY notebook, so notebook format, and where we have IDEs, usually PyCharm or Spider, PyDev, where we save file as .py files. So these are the, well, when we should use IDE, when we should use a notebook. So notebook are useful for when we are using multiple, when we are plotting multiple plots and getting the data. On the other hand, IDE, as I said, if you want to develop a software, develop a long code, in that case, IDE is very useful, right? Yes, and then before we move forward, we have some general coding guidelines that we have to follow throughout. So before we start with any kind of coding, just very brief glance on general coding guidelines. Some of these are like you can check out this doc in Python. So this is called doc strings. We will see this, and then we have to comment appropriately. So if you're writing anything, you can just give a comment before that too, or after that too, make sure that why you are doing that, to write the purpose of it. And do not use global variables all the way. You should indent your code properly to get like no error in the case, otherwise Python will throw an error. And usually ignore tabs, you can use spaces. And then there are name the variables, function and class very descriptively. And then you class field should be private, and all those things we will see one by one. And you can use pylint, is a linting method that you can use to clean your code using the Python has their own guidelines for better coding, so you can use that as well. Right, so this is the basics of Python, like as in, to start, before you start Python you should know these very basic stuffs. And then we have a diagnostic quiz, is very small quiz. I will be sharing a link with you. So we can spend 10 minutes, not we can give 15 minutes, but 10 minutes. And then we can quickly come back with this. So this is the sole purpose of this, is to see how you know the Pythons, the basics of it. And accordingly we can design the course in the coming days, right? So I pasted it in the chat. uh, it's simple, it's asking about like how you familiar with Python, kind of some small code, some basic questions on Python. And you can just submit it with a feedback. So that once we are done with that, we will start with the hands-on session here. So you can like spend 5-10 minutes, or if you can finish early, like we can start quickly. I pasted it on the chat to everyone, asking for the permission. uh, you should be able to open this. I'll just quickly check. If I open here, just can you sign in, or I can check to remove the sign in information? Do not collect. Can you check now?
Class water தண்ணி வந்து
If I open it here. Now, can you check it's working? Let me know. I will just update it here maybe. Okay, I will just change the settings also maybe. I removed all possible restrictions here. So this should work now. Just try one of this and let me know. Try to see it in incognito. Still asking for Gmail. Okay, I guess now this should be able to do. But can you just check? This one should work. The last link should work. I just check it again. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great.
இது தெரிஞ்சுதான் முன்னாடியே நம்ம அப்படி போட்டு
So we can spend some 5-10 minutes on this, and then we can start on learning some new programming language, maybe. Yeah.
இது எப்படி நசுங்க
I guess it's opening for all. Can you? Not seeing any responses yet, but okay.
அதே பொசிஷன்ல உட்காந்து கரெக்டா இருக்கும். இருக்கா? அப்படியே திருப்பிக்கலாம்லமா?
So I'm seeing 2 responses. Maybe a couple of you submit. We can start in some time. And meanwhile, whoever is done, I send you the Google Colab link. You can open and create a new notebook there. We will be starting. Okay, so whoever in the midway can quickly submit. We will be starting in another 1 minute or so. I still have two responses. Yeah. Okay, we can probably start. I can see four responses. Please submit it. Maybe after the class, you can go take some more time and submit it. So should not be a problem. I guess it's opening for all, right? So if you click the link I shared with you, you will be landing in a page like this, and you can create a new notebook and can start coding essentially. So yes, so this should come like something like this. I have already prepared the things here, and some of you already know Python, so it might be very. So these are very basic stuffs of Python we will be doing today, and then next day onward we will be seeing a lot of advanced stuff starting from data distribution, visualization stuff, and then linear algebra, later on machine learning stuff. Right. So very fast command we usually do in any coding is printing hello world. So you can do with me. I will be probably going a little quickly. I will be sharing this sheet with you also. So in that case, you not always need to just copy paste all the things, right? So if you do print hello world, this will be printing whatever is inside this bracket. So you have to put bracket and then inverted comma inside that whatever you want. Now you don't know about what is a function we are calling, right? So to know about any function, what it is doing, if you have no clue, you can just write help and then the command. So help command will give you the idea of the all the built-in functions, all the built-in print function or any other functions, the functions we are going to see. Also, if you remember, we have seen docstring in the slide. So docstring helps us to see again similar kind of help things. So if you are looking forward to see the docstring of the print command, just print that print itself. So it's mostly the same thing it's giving, right? So both print docstring and help command is useful if you want to know about any particular function, right? If you want to know about any particular function. Now coming to the so we in the Python we have a lot of variables we assign variables value. So variables are for storing the value and use them in the later stage throughout the program if you are not changing it. And then it can be called by their names. You can call the variables, print the variables. and return the variables through a function. And then usually we use the alphanumeric character. We often use underscore to like define these variables. So the name is very unique, should be very important for any variables. It should not start with a numeral. So you cannot name anything 345 ABC. So it can be ABC 345, but you cannot name anything that's starting with a numeric value. And then second thing is, it cannot either begin with a underscore. Underscore people use, but it has to be in between the name, cannot be in the beginning. These are case sensitive. If you are writing capital A equals to 5, capital A will be 5. Small a, capital A are different. So that is case sensitive. Reserved word cannot be used as a variable name. So when or there are certain reserved words, like if you have seen print. Print is a by default function of Python. You cannot use it as a your variable name. I cannot write print equal to 5. So that is a reserved variable. Like there are other reserved variables like for loop, while loop, if, else, in. These are the fundamental names already taken by Python. So you cannot use them as your own variable. So let's move forward, see how we can assign variables. Variable assigning is very simple. You can write like a equal to 5, a equal to 10, or something like that. And unlike C, C++, you don't have to mention the type of these variables like integer, float, or any other thing. It will be by default taking those things. So you don't have to, it won't throw any error, right? And then if you are printing what is a, if you are returning, it will be, it should return 10, right? Similarly, what is the type of a? As I mentioned, these are high level language, so it can identify that a is an integer. It can identify that c is a float, right? So that type is already determined. If you are writing anything else, that will also be there. And then you can display print function that we started with is a very useful function, that is to show the value or value of any variable we assign, right? So you can write print, and then what it is you can write, or simply you can write a b. So it will do the function of a plus b. A is 10, b is 15, and then print the sum of a plus b. And then product of c plus b, c into b is also we can print, right? So you can see it's on the go, it can do the calculation and will give you the return. So these are the print function, that is very basic function to print any kind of variables you have with you. And then in similar fashion, we have certain other basic functions like string. String is to define any other than like numbers. Like numbers, if you want to type name or any alphabetical word or kind of thing, that is stored in the string. And then integer is a integer, and then you can convert floating point string to integer also, floating point number string to integer. And then so int function is used for that. So if you have a string that is 5, you can convert that to an integer. And then float is to convert. So these are all these two, like string, integer, and float, are used for converting any other type to convertible. It has to be convertible type to the particular type you are mentioning. We will be seeing the example. And then type is to check whether that got changed at all or not. So we have a, which is as of now integer type. A, if you see, is an integer, right? And then if you want to change it to a string, just write a. We are changing a to a string, b to a float, and c to a integer. So if I run this along, then you can just see how what all these things are. You can print and see. So these are the programs we are performing to change them. and subsequently, if you can see, we are printing them, so it's a 10, 15.0, and 5 respectively. And then what are their types? So earlier it was a was your integer and float. Now as we asked it to be string, float, and integer, so you can see that their classes are string, float, and integer. So we changed their classes using that way. So you can use that to convert all the things. So if you have some number which is in the format, so this will be very useful if you have multiple things and in different formats, and you want to bring them in a single format and add or multiply. In those cases, this will be very useful. So we have a question for you. So that there is a small exercise question. Can you create a variable x and that is given by user and type the and print the type of the variable? I'll just paste the question again in the chat. So the question is to create a variable x. Then you have to take the input from the user and then uh, print the variable type. So what is the type of the variable? If you have Colab notebook open, you can do that. Are you all able to open Colab? I can wait for a while. If you want to, stop me and you want to open Colab. Any doubt till now, like whatever we crossed, we are at very beginning of the stage. But still, if you have doubt with anything on the slide part or this part, you can just stop me and ask. Anyone able to do that, you can paste the code here in the chat. I can check also. No problem. Okay, we can see one response. Anyone else? Okay, so what Akshaya did is correct. So we will see this thing. So you can simply give the input and then ask for a value, or you can simply, this is for the just for the comment to see here. So you can give any value like 5 or something, and it will be giving you the type of the string, right? Or if you are giving anything else than 5, say hello world or something, so it should call the string, right? Mm, if you are giving 5 last time, what it gave, so by default it is taking is as a string, right? You can see that. So what you can do, if you want to take it as a very specifically to integer, you can put int here directly and then take it, right? So if you run it with now 5, so it's an integer class. So by default, this input will take it as a string object. So this is the answer here for the question. And then we will move forward to different sequences. I'll go back to my slide. So variables, you have seen these variables, so how to name them, and there are different types of variables. Some are very primitive data types, like we have integer, floating point numbers, float, and then string. We have boolean also. We will be seeing booleans, and there are some advanced composite data type that are called list, tuple, and dictionary are there. You can also define different data types under the class definitions and use these things, but these are very primitive data types, right? So we have seen integer, float, string as of now. So the whole numbers are the integer. Then if you have a decimal point, then that is floating point, and then string could be anything like this, like order of sequence of characters. Followed by list is a this format. We will be seeing list, dictionary, tuple, all those things one by one. So these are called sequences. So so string is number one thing that we will be starting with. So string has a sequence of numbers or sequence of alphabets, right? So you can call S1 as a hello and then world, and if you ask S3 to join those things, so it is joining. And then if you want S3 to split is a particular function of a string. So string kind of data structure can use the split function, and if you split it with the anything like it's blank, so it's there is a blank gap, that's why it's splitting there with the that thing. If you ask it to split with a O, it will split with a O, right? So then we will be seeing what is the output. So wherever it's a O, it's breaking theirs, right? So that's how split work. So it will be very useful for you in case of managing large text kind of thing. If you want to calculate different number of words or how many kind of numbers are there, that is very useful. Split is a very useful for that. So can you do this exercise? Like, this is very easy. Print a sentence of your name and college with a separable variable name and college, and report the length of your name. So length, we'll be coming to this, but if you can do this, very simple stuff. I guess it's easy for some of you, but just for the practice and warming up. So for reporting length, you can use the command called len. So if I do my string is equals to introduction something, so we can use len my string to get the length. It will give you the length of the string. So len is for that purpose. You can check also what is help len is there. So it's again built-in function on len module, and it will return the number of items in the container. It's a very important function again for Python to calculate length of any string or any data structure essentially. Okay, right. So okay, so let's move on to the next thing, that is operators. We will be seeing a lot of operators now and some of the interesting stuff. So if you have, these are the arithmetic operators and then Boolean operators and some relational operators. So starting with the relational operators, if R1 equals to 3 and equals to n 9 by 3. So if that matches, let's print R1. And if R2 is minus 3 and if it is greater than equals to minus 2, then what is R2? So these relational operators will help you to show whether these relations are correct or not, right? So if it is correct, it will return you true. If it is false, it will return you uh, false, right? And then the extended version of this is a Boolean operator. So you can use different Boolean operators to use this thing. So you have R1 and R2. So this works totally on Boolean systems. So R1 and R2 is false. If R4, so this is about this R1 is 3, R2 is like minus 3, right? So if you, these are AND get OR get kind of thing, and accordingly it will give you true false results of that. And we have very basic arithmetic operations that all you know. So addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, all those things. If you have two variables, you can do these things. So just a small thing you can check here. Before we move into another very interesting thing of computer, so just check this thing, or I can just simply do this for you and then check. Uh, so this is false because we have a lot more stuff here which is not given here, right? But if you give this one, let's see. So this is true. Now, how many of you think what should be the output of this? 0 plus 0.1 plus 0.3 equals to 0.3. Will this be true or false? What do you think? You can comment on the chat also. What is your mathematics saying? So if I run this without running this, can you tell me what will be the answer of this? True or false? Anyone? Okay, I got true. Okay, can you just run this and check? Okay, let's see. This is actually false. Is it surprising for some of you or all of you? So we are doing Boolean, we are adding 0.1 to 0.2 and saying that is equals to 0.3. If we were in class 5 and our teacher is giving us this as incorrect, we can go crazy. But in computer science and all, it's actually false. But if you do 0.1 plus 0.2, so it's actually some 0.33000000 some 0.4, right? And if you do this, and again you are getting 0.6, right? Now I will add another column and I will just add 0.2 plus 0.1 plus 0.1 plus 0.2. Let's see what it gives. Both are same. But you can see this is not 0.6. This is 0.60000001. So if you are surprised by this pattern of these computers, this is called floating point error. So these floating points, we talk about floats, are not associative. So it's very wrong if you do something equals to 0 or something while we are writing code. We occasionally give if zero point 0 plus 1 plus zero point 0.02 equals to 3, then do this or do that. But that's actually wrong, right? We have to give absolute of negative x1 minus x2 had to less than epsilon or any compare the significant figures. Why does it's coming? Because of the system, the floating points we can, so computer has very specific storage capacity. And if you think about pi or anything like 10 by 3, those actually goes beyond its capacity, and some residues will be staying there. Those minute errors are called floating point errors, and that can cause this kind of problems. So if you, so what is the minimum error it can cause? So if you do 2 to the power minus 52 plus 1, it's adding some values here. But if you do 2 to the power minus 53, it's not adding anything, right? So 2 to the power minus 52 or 53 is very small. So 2 to the power minus 52 is very important number. And any 64-bit system, it is the smallest number which you can add to any floating point, so that its value will be changing. And it's called machine epsilon. So this is one intriguing fact that we have here with all these machines. So whenever you are writing any if loop or anything else, just be cautious about this thing, because your code can go wrong, right? Okay, so this is about all about different operators here. And then we have coming to list, right? So list is a again ordered sequence of object that can be anything. Anything as in can be integer, can be float, can be string. And then you have dictionary. Another thing, dictionary is usually a key versus value pairs. Like if you have one key against, like if you have different roll numbers, you can assign values or marks against those things. That is a data structure called dictionary. So let's start with list. If you have a list, you can like if you can create a list with like so this is a string, this is another string, this is another tuple under the list. So list can also contain list. So there could be list of list, list of list of list kind of thing. All those nested lists can be possible. So list can accommodate all those things, right? So anything within a square bracket separated by commas are a list. So if you run this, this will be a list. So very first thing we can do is to find the length of the list. So length of the list will be only the number of elements, not it won't count the number of elements inside any list present there. So it is separated by comma, so it will be uh, counted in that fashion only. And in Python, as a very important thing, we starting counting with zeros. So if you have list one, so the our first thing, let's see what is the first element of this is welcome. Right. Now a very important thing of a list is list can be mutated. You can change a list, right? So if you give list 1 0 equals to hello, this should change your first element of the list. And also you can back count, it's a circular fashion. So if you do list -1, so -1 will go to the last element of the list. So this is the last element of the list, and it will change the last element. So you can do the mutated list. So you can mutate the list and then check what it is. So here I change the first element to hello, the last element to course, right? So your this list has now changed to become hello everyone, welcome to the course. So I welcome you again, and then the first two item you can find the first two item or any item, any group you can find out with given the range. So if you want 0 to 2, 0 to 3, all those range you can get and print the list elements. Also, you can iterate over the list with a for loop. So if you do for I in the list and print, so it will iterate over the list and give you all the elements one by one in the list. So this is the basics of a list, and so list is your mutable, right? So you can change list, you can fetch any elements of the list, and list is very useful data structure in Python for storing huge data structure or manipulating any data structure, any text. It is very useful. But with a list, we can do a lot more stuff, starting with these functions. Like there are a lot other functions you can do. So if you check again, I'll encourage you to check these things. So the documentation. So you can do copy, count, extend, index, insert, pop, remove, reverse, sort, all kind of these things you can do with a list, right? We will be seeing some of this here, like append, extend, insert, sort, remove, kind of thing. So let's make another list that is in the range. Range is another function, default function we use, that by default, if you hover over the cursor here, you can see the thing here. So range is a produce the sequence of integers. So if you give range 5, it will be giving 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements starting from 0, right? It won't go till 5. And you can do other stuffs also, like you can jump, you can skip two numbers or something like that. So if I do 5 comma 2, uh, like we can do 2 comma 5 comma 2 or something. Yes, so if you give 2 comma 5, or then it will be we cannot give 5 comma 2. So 2 comma 5 will give you 2 onwards up to 5, not including 5, excluding 5, right? 2, 3, 4 is the range. And if you give 2 to 10 with a gap of 2, that also you can do. So this will give you 2, 4, 6, 8 kind of thing. So this is a lot thing we can do using range here. So range is a integrated version here that we are using with list to create a list and then printing the list. Now you want to add something to the list is called append, right? So you can append any element 10 to, I want to append 10 to it. So I will be appending. And here by append, you are updating your original list. It's not creating any other list. It is updating your own list, right? So be careful while, because it is mutable. So be careful while you are, updating the list. So once you update, it's like the list your X is updated, call, and it's become 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 10. And now you want to remove something, you can also remove, just remove 3. So 3 will be removed from the list. You can do other stuffs using, I said already in here that you can iterate over your list and print the thing. Not only print the thing, you can print the square of the range things here. So 0, 1, 4, 9, all whatever is present there, you can get there. Uh, thing. And as of now, we are using up to range 4. So it will go up to 4 elements, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not all. If you want to give it all, so you can give just for I in X, I cross 2, that will give you all the elements. And if you want to give a range, you can give a range also. So here we have a small exercise again. So create a list with your favorite order of number, fruit, and only print the favorite fruit and subject. So it might be very redundant stuff, but just for getting the feel, you can do this maybe. Okay, let's move forward. Uh, so if you have done with this question, it's okay. Otherwise, we can address this question again later, maybe with the dictionary. So let's start with tuples. So what is a tuple? Uh, Tuple is a immutable sequence, unlike list. So if you that also can have any kind of things. So you can add all those things, and you can add all those things like any string, integer, or any list also you can add here, and then that has to be within a first bracket, right? And then you can print it. But if you want to do this, see, you can see a error. So tuple doesn't allow you to mute this. So whatever is there, right? So interactability is you can write a for loop to interact with tuple and can print it. So that's the tuple. You cannot. It's immutable in that sense. And then coming to set is another similar kind of thing, but set has to be unique. Set has to be very unique. So you cannot repeat stuff here, right? So see, I have 0, 2 here, I have 2 here, 9 here, 9 here, but when I printed it, it's giving you a unique list of whatever we have given to you, right? So every you have list, tuple, or set have different uses. If you want to compare between two strings which have a lot of different repeated redundant data, you can use set to subset them and can compare with them. That is very basic use of set, but you can do a lot of other uses. Again, you can simply use your help to see all the functions of the set, what it can does. It can do, right? So you can do a disjoint between all the set functions that we used to do in our mathematics. You can union, you can do remove, pop, is subset kind of thing. You can check between two strings, right? So we cannot store a list inside it. So it has to be simple data structures, and then cannot store lists. They cannot have duplicate items. So that is this. So it cannot store a list and cannot have a duplicate item. Also, the order is lost in the set. So set is also callable through a loop. You can call like this, and so set 4 we cannot change it, so it is immutable, right? It's not, again, set is not mutable. But you cannot use, so you set is mutable in sense of you can change the stuff, you can add or remove but cannot change, right? In that fashion we can say set is mutable, uh, but you cannot indices wise change the things there, right? So you can change, like add something or remove something, you can pop something here. In that sense the whole set can be mutable, but a particular position of a set is non-mutable, or you cannot change it in such a fashion, right? Moving forward to dictionary, that is also called an associative array and hash table. So dictionary has two things. One is called key, another one is corresponding value, right? So you have a key and a corresponding value, and then if you can so you can also call something like this fashion. You can also establish a dictionary here. So dictionary looks like this: temp1, temp2. These are the two dictionaries we have. So you can see this also they have converted into their dictionary format. And if you have mutability, these are mutability, so you can change it. And so you can change, given the key, what is the value, you can change the value, right? And then you can call the value by calling dot get. So if you do dictionary temp1 get what is the key, and it will return you the value. So this is very useful if you are interested, in any, say, mark sheet. You have all students mark sheet, and then you want to see, okay, that roll numbers, what is the marks, that we can find out, right? And then similar way, we can do the interpretability of the dictionary. We can ask them to print all the keys in a loop, and it will give you the keys as well as values in the loop, right? And you can check whether that key is also there or not. So today is there, yes, today is there, so you can check that is inside the dictionary also. So whoever has done this question, like what I shared a little bit earlier, like order of number, fruit, subject, suit, and print the front, can you do it using dictionary? This might be very using list, it might be very boring, but using dictionary, this will be fun. Any doubt till now? If you have any doubt, please feel free to stop me or ask me. Or if you want to ask on chat, feel free to ask it on chat. So we are now trying to address this question with dictionary. Anyone done with this? I'll wait for another minute maybe, and then I can open the codes here for my. Maybe you can see this and do. and here you can get call and get it, something like this. Okay, let's move forward. If you're done with this, just you can paste on the chat. So you can also index sequences, like you can treat a sequence as a list, and if you have any string, you can like print it as indexing, like what is the start one, what is the third last one. So -3 is the third last one essentially, right? So third is two exclamatory and then e. You can slice a sequence also using this. So like like we did for a list. So if you have 0 to 5, you can like so word 1 is hello, so first 5 will be there, and you can do so. This will be giving you starting to all to. So this is all to -1, right? So this is starting and end position. End position is -2, that is this two. Except this two, you should get all the things. Okay, and yeah, so let's go back to the slide decks once again. So the next thing is we will be seeing, so all the data structure we have seen here, mostly we have seen all of these things. I assume we have seen integers, floating points, we see floating point error, we have seen strings, list, dictionary, tuples, sets, boolean, all those things, right? Now another important thing in the basics of Python is loop. So loop, we have seen certain things here already, like for loop we have seen, we have been iterating through strings, iterating through list, set, iterating through tuples. Now loops helps us to iterate between the, so we don't have to write all the times we don't have to write print list 1, print list 2, print list 3. Just iterate over it. That is the purpose of loop. There are different ways to do that, different logics you can use to do that. So very first thing that we will be seeing is a for loop. A for loop is, you are saying that we have already seen that you write a variable that I, that will be starting by default from 0 to the length of the list, if you're giving the list, or if you are giving any specific instruction like range or something, in that range it will be running and do whatever. If it is printing I, it will print. If you are asking it to do multiply, we have seen squaring it. You can do all those things here in using the for loop. So here we have a list called fruits, and if you are asking what x in the fruits I have, it will write banana, apple, and orange in the proper order. So this is the loop, for loop. Then there is a while loop. So while loop will be having a end function. So while loop will go till you ask it to go, right? So it will start from the beginning and it will be go until the count is less than, so your count is 0, and until it's less than 5 it will be going. So there is no, so if there is, you are changing it, it can go from like infinity times. So every time you are changing say count to 0 or something, so you have to increment count, otherwise this will go for forever. So count is 0 until count is less than 5. You can like keep printing and update count, and as long as count is getting 5, you can this will be stopping. So anyways, there is a printing mistake. This should be small c. Anyways, moving forward to another loop, that is a statement based loop called if, where we have to give a condition, then only it will going inside the loop. So if we have a equals to 2, if we are giving a statement that a equals to 1, it will be printing, else it will be print welcome, right? So these are the three major like loop system we had in the Python. So loops are very useful for iterating over the statements, and then we have for loop, while loop, and if else loop, if, elif, and else loop. So let's start with the for loop. So we have n equal to 4 and given range 0 to n. As I already shown what is a function of range, I will again show you just what this 0 to n is doing. So range 0 to 4 will be giving you just simply a list of or a range of 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So if I print this should come, or if I do list, this should come as a list. So you can see it's 0, 1, 2, 3. So it will 4 elements starting from 0 to 4, right? Now here we are running this I element on the range 0 to n, and we are printing I. So similar way it should print all that stuff. So 0, 1, 2, 3 it will be printing, right? And then you can reiterate it over a string. We have already seen this example before. And then we have a while loop, what we have seen there. So it will print like so until it's become 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it will stop, right? And then this will stop. You can also do this like in a similar fashion, plus equal to plus. So I guess this is not happening. I'll just stop it. Just to be a plus. Yes, so the similar way is equal to plus equal to. That's equal to count plus 1, right? So you can also have a similar way. And if you are making any mistake in updating these things, a while loop can go like infinity loop, right? So be careful with wherever you are using while loop. So very careful about the stopping criteria. And then you have if else statement. If else statement is based on the conditions where you are giving. So you are getting a value of a, and then if it is divisible by 2, then we are saying, and there is no reminder, then it will be an even number and an odd number. So if I give say 99, so odd number. So this is just a check for the even number, odd number based on the remainder. So you have a next exercise question to find similar thing, but not odd number, a leap year number, right? Using this if loop, can you do that? Just using if loop. Anyone done with this leap year question? Okay, so we have this logic here, and if you are using this, you should be able to tell. So 2024 is leap year or not? Anyone? Let's check it here. It's a leap year, right? So it's a leap year. Right. So let's move forward to the function. Is the next item. So next topic is function. So before moving that, are you guys able to see this? I'll just keep it for a while, maybe couple of seconds. You can, if you have any doubt here or understanding the question, please feel free to stop me. Okay, this also works. Like, should be fine. So next thing we are going to try is the function. So function is another thing that is very useful for segmenting your code. So it contains instruction usually for those who are frequently used. So you don't have to. These are custom made functions, like not inbuilt functions like print or anything. If you have any particular function, you can just simply customize the function and call it. So it helps to make the code clear and more readable. Divides long codes into small sections, and then syntax for function creation looks like something like this. So you have a function name, you have some arguments, some inputs you can give, and then some statements to do with that arguments, and then finally you return this. So every time you just how you call this, so you call, it's like a function input and name. So you give the arguments, and whatever is the output, it comes like that. So this is, I'm not taking any arguments. So if I'm calling it, it is by default will print whatever is inside these things, right? And then if you have any inputs, you can give it. So let's see some of the examples of these functions, like addition, basic, simple, very simple addition functions. If you have, so you have to give arguments, like I have two numbers x y, or you can have three numbers, any kind of numbers you can take, and just you can return their plus, right? So this is the thing, and it actually won't return you anything as of now. You cannot see anything, so it is returning. Once you call the functions, it will return, right? So now it will return you the number, that is 3. Otherwise, if you don't want to return it, you can just simply print. It will print but won't return anything to your things, right? And then you can just, that's why simply use print here. So add numbers 1 and 2. So add numbers 1 and 2 will print 3 again. So it is returning, so and it is printing, right? So there is the difference of that. So print, you cannot basically use this again, but you can use this. So if you can use, say, x equals to something like add numbers 1, and you can just take x here, that's the 3, right? And if you do x equals to 3 here, and if I do x, I guess it's also returning. So in essentially, this is printing the value, and this is returning the value to you. And yeah, the similar way, I guess this will do also. So you can add numbers, giving and calling it. So leap year is done. Yeah. So that is here about basic functions. And so the next question is, leap year we did earlier. Can you write a function to do that? like same exercise, but in different ways we can do it. Use only function to do that, and return it, or you can print it as well. So if you have the earlier code, just put it in a function. Any doubt with the part up to this part? So the input has to be your year, and then you have your code in some fashion, just for your hint. Anyone having any doubt with these things, please? So we have a code snippet here. So I'll just discuss this answer and move forward with the last part of the today's session. So is here we are checking it, and mainly in this part we are checking whether the input given, this is just for the corner cases, whether the year given, the input we are checking, it's a positive. So this is the corner cases. Like in the last code, if you have given a negative answers, I have to check what's that's doing here. So if I give some minus 2023, it's not a leap year. So this is not a valid year. So those corner cases, it's checking whether it's a greater than, then you will return the same year, or else you will be positive year, or if there is any kind of value added, you can check, right? And then once you have the valid year, you can just do that. So I'll just run this. Looks like there is some indent error. Oh, okay. I missed this. Okay, so 2024, it is checking leap year. If I give minus 2023, it will ask for a positive year, and again it's asking, right? It's if I give 2023, not a leap year, right? If I run it and give some at the rate or something, again it's a valid, not a valid integer. So this kind of cross corner cases you can take care of using this while true case. So this is a advanced version of the code we had earlier, right? Now moving forward to the last part of today's session is packages. that you can use a lot of complex function using multiple packages, starting from NumPy packages for computation, pandas for data manipulation analysis, matplotlib c1 plotting. We will be using a lot of pandas, NumPy, and matplotlib, scipy, sklearn, scikit-learn in the later classes. Tomorrow onwards, we will use NumPy, pandas, matplotlib, c1, probably scipy also. So these are the functions. You can use these packages for a lot of complex functions. So let's see how you call them and get them. So very easy. I mentioned very earlier stages. You just can have to do pip install. Just pip install the package name is very easy to install the things in your Python. Otherwise, you here, if you have already, you can just import numpy something. Just import numpy should work. So I have numpy installed, so I am just doing import numpy. And later stage, if you want to use it as np, so that's for convenience, so we will write import numpy as np, and later on, just writing numpy.array, we can write np.array, right? And then you have all those things here. So numpy.array will create a numpy package. Numpy.i will create an identity matrix. We'll do a lot of matrix on linear algebra classes. And this is how you can quickly create a matrix and keep it. So we have matrix, we have tensors, and all those things you can is very useful. And numpy is a handy tool for that. And you can have two numpy arrays and do all those kind of matrix kind of stuff here. So you have this element wise addition. So this is not vectorized, this is like scalar, right? So these are element wise addition: 0 plus 5, 1 plus 2, 2 plus 6. So element wise. And then if you want a dot product, vector product, then it's x dot y, right? So that also is doing, and it's giving you a dot product. So this is how you do for these things. These packages like numpy is useful. And there is like a lot of math packages. I guess some of you are from math background, and then if you want to just plot pi, it's pi. And then you don't have to do 22 by 7 or something like that. So the next question we have, like, can you generate a numeric array of 4 elements and identify the sum of their square in the element? Please use numpy for the same. Just don't do square and add. So you are only allowed to use numpy here. Yeah, so these are the what I was saying. Sorry, I was on mute. So I was just saying that you can check these different functions on your math. So NumPy math should has all those things, cos, sine. I just only show one like pi. Others are also there. So you can use either np.math or dot underscore underscore doc to get the documentation of those stuffs. So these are all the things you can do with this. So I just use one pi. You can just play with other things. There's a lot of mathematics stuffs here. So the answer of last question goes like this. So if you have we have done, I guess, similar on the list, but this is same fashion but using the uh, your numpy array, right? So you can just do like, so it's not printing. I have to print it some of. So it's 54, right? So we have using a couple of things. So NP array is for the array, then NP sum is actually summing of NP array cross 2. So this is again another array, which is array, or I will just print all of the stuff. Maybe that will be easy for you. So if I take this and place this. So this is the array, middle array of this thing. And if you are doing NP sum, sum is basically is the sum of all these things. So this will give you a lot of freedom to do whatever you want to do with the NumPy array, and you can basically do these things. So this is overall the scenario of what we discussed today. So go you through these things. I will share the notebook. Don't worry. You can use this notebook to practice the things which I showed you today. So we did with installation, programming language basics here, then some compiler, what are the interface, general coding guidelines. We had a diagnostics test. I can see there are, I guess, 15 response. You can like attend it tonight also. And then we did a lot on variables, loops, function, packages. All are very basics of the Python, but yeah, but very essential things we have checked, right? And then tomorrow we will be having class starting with mostly data visualization. We will be doing two classes. The first class tomorrow we will be starting with a lot of probability distribution, how we can use this numpy array or matplotlib to get those distribution. And then briefly we will introduce data visualization, and a bit of curve fitting also we will be doing tomorrow. So that's tomorrow, and then day after tomorrow we will be mostly focusing on advanced data visualization before we move forward to linear algebra and all those things, right? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the class, and if you have any doubt, I will be here. uh, we have some time also with us, and I will be sharing a feedback form with you. If you like, you can fill that as well. Yeah, if you have any questions or anything, just feel free to let me know. So you can give your feedback here, and if you have any questions anywhere, if you want me to like go through again, I will be happy to do that. And if you have any question you come across later today, you can just put it on the feedback form also in the suggestion. Maybe you can put the question on mind, or else you can ask me tomorrow. That is also fine with me. Thank you. Okay, so if there is no more question, we can conclude. If you have any question, I will be here for another minute, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. I am fine with that. If you have any question, I can like clarify also. No problem. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, I guess we can conclude this session, ma'am. And then we can see you tomorrow with data distribution and visualization. Okay, then see you tomorrow. Good.